Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Lefties have gone insane, folks. It started with just the SJW compilations of the past, but dogmatic academic leftist insanity has spread, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. And that's where we come in with the saga, the series that I've created on this channel, which we haven't done a video on for a while. Lunatic Leftist Insanity Rapid Fire Cannon, folks. It's been a while, but the news cycle is asking for one of these videos. I got a bunch of articles to show you guys, all with a very common theme that you guys are going to catch on to real quick. And so we're going to get into it, but before we do, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. So make sure you guys are subscribed with notifications on so you can be updated when I post a new video. And of course, share the video with new viewers so we can keep expanding this community going forward. Now with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. All right, friends, let's start off with a concept that we've been talking about quite recently, the socialist wing of the Democrat Party and their complete inability to tolerate any level of dissent. And that in contrast with Joe Biden pretending to be the great uniter as if he's going to unite both political aisles. And we all know Joe Biden doesn't have any prejudice. He sniffs all people of all races equally. So, you know, maybe he will be the uniter. But for real, the Democrats, and more specifically the socialist wing of the Democrat Party, have no interest in uniting. It's all about conforming. Look at this headline right over here. A socialist calls into Hannity radio show and says the quiet part out loud. We don't want to unite with you. We want to destroy every last one of you. Listen to this.
And here's just one last thing. I keep hearing people say, well, what about the 80 million? And don't you want to unite and reach out? You don't get it. We don't need you anymore. We don't care. We don't want to unite with you. We want to destroy every single one of you.
And so you guys should search out the whole thing for yourself. It's an 8-minute clip. I can't tell if it's a prank, a crank call. Seems genuine. And just listen to the perspective on the other side. It's absolutely crazy. But let's continue with the leftist insanity rapid fire cannon. FBI arrests woman for sending pictures of a mutilated body and threatening the family of election official who refused to certify Biden's Michigan win. Caitlin Jones, 23, was charged with threatening violence through interstate commerce in connection to the threats that were sent to Monica Palmer. Palmer was slammed for refusing to certify and then attempting to rescind her vote to certify the close to 878,000 votes in Michigan's largest county. Remember when we covered that, the two Michigan county officials who refused to certify and then immediately started receiving threats, their children were being doxxed, their homes were being doxxed, what schools their children went to. Well, the FBI just arrested a woman who legitimately threatened one of those election officials. Voter intimidation is a very serious crime, and it probably makes you question the certification process within itself, especially in Michigan and in Wayne County. But of course, you are not allowed to ask questions. But once again, it goes to show the left are the perpetrators of everything they complain about. How many times have you seen a politician on the left making an absolute fool of themselves, getting total blowback, and then playing the victim saying, I'm getting threats, as if it only happens one way, and the media only covers it when it happens one way. But what about the other way? What about Antifa and the threats that they've made consistently towards the other side? You don't hear a peep. And sometimes, unfortunately, those threats manifest into real action and real violence, which happened just the other day. A Proud Boy from a couple months ago was ran over in a parking lot outside of a bar by a BLM Antifa protester. Well, once again, totally tolerant leftist behavior goes unpunished with impunity. Prosecutors declined to charge BLM militant who ran over Proud Boy in Washington. Yep, you heard it here, folks. If you're Antifa, if you're BLM, you can use your car as a battering ram, attempted vehicular homicide, get away with it. Not even a slap on the wrist, just totally getting away with it. Welcome to the dystopia that is the West Coast. Oregon and Washington have a serious problem of radical leftism, radical leftist terrorism, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna stop soon. It doesn't seem like their elected officials and prosecutors have an interest in really stopping it at all. Absolutely disgusting. But at least we have some good news. Judge clears way for Andy Ngo's lawsuit against Rose City Antifa. Andy Ngo filed a lawsuit against Rose City Antifa demanding $900,000 in damages, alleging that the far-left anarchist group attacked, assaulted, and harassed him at various protests. And I definitely support Andy Ngo. He deserves it. He deserves a payout here, 100% in my view. What he deserves more than anything is a Pulitzer Prize, but I question some lefties. In fact, I questioned Joe Biden on what he thought was going to happen here, and Joe Biden responded, come on, man, you can't sue pursue an idea, man. And so I guess I've been fact-checked, I've been debunked. It must have just been an idea that's been harassing and assaulting and attacking Andy Ngo at all of these protests, all of those people who have been assaulted all across American states from coast to coast. It must have just been ideas. It must have just been a figment of my imagination to see what I saw with my own eyeballs and processed with my brain. But they don't stop, folks. Their tactics of intimidations don't stop. And one thing I gotta say here before I show you this next article is leave Kayleigh alone! Leave Kayleigh alone. Kayleigh McEnany says rioters targeted her house during the DC riots. And once again, absolutely no liberal outcry. Who remembers what happened with Gretchen Whitmer? Who remembers what happened with that other politician, I don't know, that nothing politician who claimed some random stuff happened with absolutely no proof? It was the top headline across multiple different media outlets and publications. Kayleigh McEnany, same thing, and you don't hear a peep. Rules for thee and not for me. Rules for Democrats and rules for Republicans. With Gretchen Whitmer, for instance, they talk about it on every single news segment all across the media for weeks on end, blame the president, spin the narrative, and make it seem as if the perpetrators were of a specific political tie connected towards the president, even though they were literal anarchists who hated the president and had absolutely no association to Trump's populist base. So they'll take the story and spin it in a way that misinforms and pushes a narrative for voters before an election, which is election interference and did in fact interfere with the election. The amount of people who voted for Joe Biden thinking Trump supporters are terrorists, well, it was definitely a factor, and it probably had a serious impact. But then on the other side, for Kayleigh McEnany, they won't even cover it. They'll go above and beyond for the Democrats, and they'll completely ignore the Republicans. But you know who won't ignore the scandals of the Democrats? Me. That's what we do on this channel. Here's a really interesting headline. Talk about lefties going too far. Representative Ayanna Pressley calls to prioritize prisoners to receive COOF vaccine, to which I have a very, very simple and short response. How about no? How about we don't prioritize criminals who haven't prioritized you, the people, and contributing to a law-abiding, safe, civilized society? How about we don't do that? How about we stop justifying and subsidizing poor behavior? That's exactly what's got us to this mess in the first place. And speaking of terrible behavior that the Democrats refuse to condemn, check out this story right over here. New low? Black Lives Matter monsters terrorize child cancer fundraiser in Wisconsin. Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas from Black Lives Matter. They're really doing good in the streets, protesting the exact people who need to be protested. You know, those terrible middle-class folks who are trying to support a child cancer fundraiser. You know, those irredeemably, terribly racist people. It's absolutely crazy, folks. And the crazy train is just getting started and is headed full steam ahead. It doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. And so I'd assume that we're probably going to be back here at some point soon with another segment of lunatic leftist insanity rapid fire cannon. But that's what I got for you guys on this one. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. Now I gotta get back to work because there's of course a whole lot of insanity that must be exposed on a daily basis. You guys know the drill, it's a daily gig, so I'm gonna get to that. I want to thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.